Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're just going to give it a few seconds to allow participants to enter the virtual room. You're welcome to say hi and introduce yourself in the chat while we're waiting. Thanks again for joining us today. Okay. In the interest of time, I'm going to get us started. Hi again. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tara King. I'm the project director at the American Association for the Advancement of Science, or AAAS for short. And my job is to coordinate the activities of the STEM Resource and Evaluation Center. We're excited to host today's STEM Scholars Community Workshop to help you master engaging and impactful poster presentations. Next slide, please. Here's a brief overview of how we will spend our time together today. First, I'll provide some information about the STEM Resource and Evaluation Center, including our scholars community, and the upcoming opportunities related to our STEM Scholars and PI meeting that we'll be hosting in Chicago next month. Then we're happy to have our guest workshop facilitator, Dr. Rama Bala, share useful tips, techniques, and best practices for how to create engaging and impactful poster presentations. The workshop includes a block of time for you to ask and get your questions answered by Dr. Bala. Next slide. Let me go through some quick logistics to help us better facilitate the workshop. Please keep your microphone on mute when not speaking so that we don't catch any background noise. At any time, we welcome you to write your questions in the chat. To help us get to know one another, please rename yourself to include your institution name or abbreviation, and share your pronouns if you wish. You may also introduce yourself in the chat and turn on your camera if you feel comfortable doing so. We're happy to have closed captioning being provided today, as well as ASL interpretation. Additionally, if you'd like to follow along with your own copy of the slides, you can access them on our website, and I'll put that link in the chat right now. In addition to the slides, the recording of today's session will be made available on the workshop's event page, which you can find here. And we hope that you don't have any technical difficulties today, but if you do, please contact my colleague, Jamila Blake, through the chat feature or by email at jblake@AAAS.org. One more thing, we really appreciate and value your feedback to help us better support you as STEM scholars. Please take a moment to complete our participant survey when you leave the session today. A link to the short survey will automatically pop up on your screen when you exit the virtual meeting. And thanks in advance for sharing your thoughts with us. So you may be asking, what is the STEM REC? The STEM Resource and Evaluation Center, or REC for short, was founded by the American Association for the Advancement of Science, or AAAS, with an award from the National Science Foundation in fall 2022. The REC seeks to cultivate a network of STEM stakeholders and promote the exchange of ideas, resources, opportunities, and knowledge related to supporting talented, low-income students in STEM. The REC carries out many activities to support STEM programs, PIs, and scholars across the country. You can find more information about the REC and our key activities on our website. You're also welcome to join our STEM Scholars listserv to receive our monthly newsletter if you aren't already doing so. Here's also a link to our mailing list. Next slide, please. So there are a few activities to support scholars that I'd like to quickly make you aware of. Firstly, we encourage you to consider joining the STEM Scholars community on LinkedIn if you aren't already a member. It's a great space to find resources and opportunities and connect with other STEM scholars and alumni. You can request to join the community using the QR code on this slide, or also using our link, which I'll put in the chat now. We also have a blog series, next slide, on the STEMrec website that exclusively highlights the voices, experiences, and wisdom of STEM scholars and alumni. We'd love to spotlight as many STEM scholars as possible. So we encourage you to take a look at the submission form, and if you're interested, please complete the form to apply to be spotlighted. Next slide. One of the central ways in which the STEMrec supports STEM scholars is by convening an annual scholars meeting. This November, we're holding our second annual scholars meeting at the Hyatt Regency in Chicago. Unique to this year's meeting is that the REC is also hosting the STEM PI meeting at the same time and location. So we're super excited for this wonderful opportunity to bring together a large segment of the STEM community, and we look forward to seeing many of you there. Here's a link to our meeting website for more information. Next slide. To help scholar attendees feel better prepared to attend the annual meeting, we have been hosting a series of Know Before You Go info sessions. Our last info session will take place on October 29th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be discussing last-minute tips and reminders, highlighting meeting activities, and taking your questions. If you will be attending the Chicago meeting, we encourage you to please join us at this final session if you can. And I will pop a link to the registration for that session in the chat. So this year, we're at the annual meeting, we're really excited that 185 STEM scholars will be presenting posters about their research and academic work. We're super excited that not only is Dr. Bala facilitating this workshop to support you all and preparing for your poster presentations, but her organization, Chance to Change Lives, is sponsoring an undergraduate research award opportunity. The two selected winners will receive a certificate of recognition and a $500 paid towards registration for attending the Emerging Researchers National Conference in STEM that will take place in Washington, D.C. in spring 2025. I'm sure Dr. Bala will tell us more about this amazing opportunity in her talk today. But I want to highlight the deadline. The deadline to apply is October 31st, and you can access the award application using the QR code or the link that I just placed in the chat. Next slide, please. So now I'm super happy to present to you and introduce our workshop facilitator, Dr. Rama Bala. Dr. Bala is a physicist, scholar, educator, mentor, and a social entrepreneur. She is the president and CEO of Chance to Change Lives, which is a nonprofit organization with a pay-it-forward model to mentor and develop the next generation of leaders and knowledge creators in STEM fields through their flagship STEMnetX program.
Good afternoon, all. So happy to see many of you join this call. And thank you to AAAS and STEMrec for organizing this workshop. And I am happy to present to you how to create engaging and impactful posters for presentations at conferences and other professional events. Next slide, please. So you may have joined this workshop to thinking about what are some ways to present your research and be engaged with the scientific community. And we started with asking this question, why do presentations matter? Well, the obvious thing is when you do research, it's important work that you want to share with a wider audience with the hopes of not only moving your research forward through feedback from experts and other peers in the field, but it also gives you an opportunity to enhance your professional engagement with the scientific community. So think of presentations as a way for you to learn more in conversations and discussions with experts, scientists, and other professors who are in the field actively working on projects maybe related to your topic, similar to the work that you are doing. But in having this presentation, you have the opportunity to engage with the audience and get their direct feedback. This is really important for your academic and professional development. And in scientific field, we do this all the time. And that's why presentations, whether it's poster or oral presentations, are extremely important. Next slide, please. So when it comes to posters and creating posters, there are some techniques and tips that are useful for us. For example, as you think of presenting posters, you may want to think about who are you presenting to. So having an idea about the audience attending your presentation is important. The structure of your poster, which is to say how the contents of your posters are organized, is really important for having an effective outcome of these presentations. And when you think of designing your posters, you may want to keep in mind how easy it is for somebody to follow your poster and also have engaging conversations with you following the contents that you have presented. And presentation techniques, your communications, engaging with the audience in terms of not only conveying the research results, but also how do you keep up with following up on some of the discussions that you have, all follow this presentation or this communication aspect of your presentation, followed by how well and how engaging those conversations are and useful for you through those feedback is an important aspect of posters. And so how should questions be handled and how do you engage with the audience in your posters is an important element of effective posters. Next slide, please. So I'm going to walk you through these different elements that I just laid out for you in the previous slide. For example, who are you presenting to? Understanding who your audience is really important. So as you are preparing your poster, think about structuring them that it addresses the audience who may be specialists or non-specialists who will walk to your posters at a conference or at an event. So tailoring your presentation, just gauging the audience in front of you, is an important aspect of effective posters because if you are presenting your posters to, let's say, a team of professors or scientists who walk to your poster, you may want to spend more time going in depth about the nitty-gritty of the data, the nuances of your research, so you can get their feedback, you can have a dialogue and discussion. On the other hand, if you see in front of you a group of students who may be in your field or maybe in your in field allied with your own research interests, you may want to set up the background information, get the audience to follow along what is the main objective of your research and drive the presentation so that the audience are with you both from the introduction to the methodology of your research to the results and discussion. So really, as you are preparing the poster, engage with the audience in multiple format, thinking about who you are presenting to. And that would also help you focus your content delivery in an accessible way. And so focus or pay attention to delivering the content in a clear and concise manner. Next slide, please. So what are some essential elements of a good poster? So I'm going to talk a little bit about the structure of a poster and how the contents are oriented in it. Each poster should have a clear and concise title. The title always has authors and affiliations, followed by some logos if you wanted to present of your home institutions or some funding agencies. All of those would go into the area adjacent to the title. And as I mentioned, the title should be engaging and most often gives the audience an idea of what is this research about and what is it telling the crux of your research. Most titles or most posters have a short abstract, which is a summary of your research that you have done, captured in a paragraph, typically 6 or 7 sentences, followed by an introduction. Uh, you may also find posters that start out with just an introduction without an abstract. So please pay attention to the event or the conference where you are presenting the poster. Some conferences require that the posters have an abstract, and if it is so, make sure that you print out that abstract in there. And an introduction really gives you the space to present the background of the research, the objectives of your study. It also is a place for you to present the theory, some gaps in the knowledge that you are trying to address through your research, gives you the space for you to present your hypothesis, and whatever that you think sets up really nicely the background work that you have done for your own research. All of those content will go into that introductory part of it. Next slide, please. Oh, so there is the logo and author information and affiliation information that goes into the title there, as I mentioned. Next slide. Yes. So when it comes to the other areas of your poster, there is always a section on methods and materials. This is a section where you want to focus on how was this research done? What were some chemicals that were used if you are an experimentalist, or if you are a computational person, what are some software tools that you have used? What are some routines and methodologies that you have used in conducting this research? All of that information can be presented in this methods and materials section. And if you wanted the audience to go and look for in-depth information, you can create a link to a reference, make a bullet point or a reference to an appropriate journal article that you may have used in your own research as you got started with your own project. So this is an important aspect of poster where the audience knows what your hypothesis is from the previous introductory piece, and now they are ready to see, okay, how did they go about doing the research? So they get some insights into it. The majority of the posters, if you look at conference posters, focuses on specific results and outcomes of your own research. So the much of the real estate of your poster is dominated by the results and discussion section. Some presenters fold in both results and discussions together. Some of them present the results and then discuss separately. So really use your creativity and your judgment to see what is your research telling you and how do you want to convey the results and outcomes of your research project. And most often there is a summary or a conclusion which draws in key results and significance of those results or interpretation of the modeling that you may have done in your research. So all of those are encapsulated in a summary statement or a conclusion paragraph. It doesn't have to be too long, 4 or 5 sentences. Again, the key word in here is clear and concise, to capture the essence of all of the hard work that you have done. As I mentioned, you are basing your research either based on a prior research project or maybe your own reading into literature. So all of those references that you have used has a place in the reference section, which almost always goes at the bottom of the poster, followed by acknowledgement. And this is an area where students really like to thank their mentors, faculty sponsors, funding agencies, or conference travel grants, whomever that you want to thank in a professional sense. There is a place for you to give the acknowledgement in that section. So this sort of presents to you the content and the flow of your research from start to finish in a poster presentation. Next slide, please. So I wanted to highlight an example of a poster that has elements of what we just reviewed before. So in this poster, this is an interdisciplinary research where there's some research that's done from a physics perspective for a biological context. So notice that there is a clear and concise title that tells you what this research is about. And it also lists all of the contributors to the research right below the title, followed by the affiliation. Of course, on this Zoom screen, the print is too small, but on a poster screen, which is usually a 3x4 poster, the authors and their affiliations are readable, and you can also see the institutions that where the research was conducted and the respective logos. In this poster, they start with an introduction to the topic. In this case, it was senescence. All of the background information is captured in a concise bullet points, 3 or 4, 5 bullet points in this case, with a complex idea of the aspect of the topic presented in nice images right here. They also introduced these complex topics of nanoparticles. Again, as I mentioned, this is an interdisciplinary research captured in the form of, again, bullet points, which really highlights the background information the audience needs to know, followed by a hypothesis. This hypothesis is based on a really complex interdisciplinary idea. So rather than typing out paragraphs explaining what that hypothesis is, the authors have captured that in 2 main bullet points, again, concisely, and presenting this complex idea in a visual infographic that if you tested these materials, this is the outcome that you expect to see. Here, the authors have captured the materials and methods by listing some of the chemicals that they have used and the processes that they have used. Again, the reference to that materials and methods is coded in this reference section, followed by much of the poster is focused on results and discussions folded into one. And I want to point out here, for example, they have run a lot of data collection, data analysis that they have done, but notice that they have not presented all of the data, but they have taken what is the essential aspect of all of the hundreds of data graphs that they have created and encapsulated into a single graph. And I know this because I was involved in this research and my students were also a part of this research. we have presented, for example, information on some X-ray diffraction that we ran on these materials in the form of graph C, this little inset that you see. But what I would also like to highlight in here is they're not talking about the individual graphs, but what essentially is this graph telling me? So in the title of this inset, they tell what the graph is telling, but they also tell the result or the outcome of running this experiment. And you can see that theme sort of carried through the toxicity results that they have presented, again, combining results and discussion into one unit. And as I mentioned earlier, some folks list out all the results with a good chunk of the discussion presented separately. In this research, they have folded both together. And again, use your creativity, use your judgment of how to best present your data. Again, drawing out the interpretation of the data, what it tells is all presented in a summary or a conclusion statement here. Again, not too long, a paragraph of key results and key findings. And this is an ongoing research. So if you are a part of a research that spans across multiple semesters, it is perfectly okay for you to highlight research results in progress. So there is a place for you to present maybe one or two sentences on what the future work that is being planned or is being currently carried on would be. So this is a place where you can highlight the research in progress. And finally, there is a place for you to present the references and acknowledgement which these researchers have presented that refers to multiple points in the poster, whether it is the introduction that requires a previous research or prior literature that has been published, or the materials and methodology section, which references here, followed by the acknowledgement, the different funding agencies that supported this research. So I hope you got a gist of the content and the flow of the research through poster presentation by looking at this example. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, clarity and precising the content concisely is the key to a successful poster presentation. So visually appealing posters always have clear sections that are laid out where the audience can say, okay, this is the hypothesis, this is the materials, and this is the results section. As you probably saw in the previous example, how visually it transitions and also creates sort of a timeline of your own research project. Because when you have a hypothesis, you have, prior to the hypothesis, you've done a literature survey, and then you've followed some materials and methodologies for conducting this research, followed by research and your conclusions. Avoid lengthy paragraphs and a lot of clutter in the poster presentation. So limiting text and concisely presenting your research is important for a visually appealing poster. Headings and subheadings help you with that, help with presenting or highlighting some key aspects of your research. So you can bold the headings and subheadings, or you can underline, draw some visual contrasts by using colors. Be creative, really, as you want to draw attention to key aspects of your poster. And finally, in the visually appealing posters, you may want to pay attention to using high quality images, whether it is for illustrations, photos, or presenting graphs. Use of high quality images really enhances the poster presentation. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, An effective poster presentation also involves audience to be engaged with key elements of the poster, whether it be using contrasting colors or using legible fonts or making the font sizes easily readable. These are aspects that you can really bring out an effective conveying the effectiveness of your research through visually presenting the content. Next slide, please. When you use graphs and tables, the key aspect in here is to avoid clutter. As I mentioned, you don't have to present all of the data that you have acquired, but really summarize the data in visually uh, clear and concise formats where your data tables are presenting numerical results, but in a meaningful and in a concise way. Same thing with graphs to display data trends. Make sure that you label your axis clearly. And also use of legends is extremely important where you can fold in the discussion as you are presenting your data results. Photos and diagrams are almost always helpful to visually present a complex idea, whether it is hypothesis or interpreting the results. Use of illustrations can also be another way of presenting the information effectively. Next slide, please. A good poster has a visual presentation, which we have walked through different elements of it. Equally important is the presenter. What are some presentation skills and techniques that you can use to effectively communicate your research is an important aspect. For example, your presentation of your data can be enhanced if you keep your actual presentation not more than 5 minutes. Keep it short. I say 2 to 3 minutes, but 2 to 3 minutes is probably a very, very limited time. So maybe within 5 minutes would be, 5 to 7 minutes would be a good time frame for you to present your oral part of the discussion. If you can do it within 3 minutes, great, because that will leave you with plenty of time to engage with the audience. So you can achieve this by practicing your presentation of the poster multiple times. It's always important to avoid reading directly from the poster because the key word in here is to engage with the audience. And so you want to maintain eye contact with them. You want to watch for their body language. You want to see where the audience might be in taking those visual cues in. So keeping it simple and using a clear language to explain complex topics is really core to getting the information effectively across. And as I mentioned, keeping the audience engaged is critical for a successful poster presentation. And when you are at a conference or at an event, you also want to pay attention to the dress code. Some conferences have predetermined or preset dress code, but for the most part, dress appropriately, professionally, because this is a professional event where you engage with experts and your peers in a professional setting. So think about how you want to both visually present your poster, orally present the poster, and you as a presenter, how do you want the audience to receive all aspects of the presentation? Next slide, please. Engaging with the audience is the key to a successful poster presentation. As we mentioned, poster presentation is not just to communicate your research to the audience, but also to seek feedback, to seek advice from experts, and also the input that they can give can actually enhance your research experience. So open the floor for questions and comments. And when I say engaging the audience at a conference, you may have multiple people walking through your poster. And if you feel that you needed to invite the poster, just say hello to the folks that are walking past your poster and invite them to attend your poster. As you walk them through the poster, use the time during the question and answer session to clarify some additional points and offer tips on to your research. This is also a time for you to go in depth on some elements that you may not have had a chance in your oral presentation of the poster. You may want to uh, engage the audience, encourage them to participate in it by a simple, do you have any questions? Do you have comments to offer? So simple statements can really get them to ask questions or give you feedback. When an audience has a question, listen carefully to it. Maybe take a few seconds before answering the question. And if you don't know an answer to a question, it's completely okay. It is okay to say, I don't know the answer to that question, but I am going to look it up or follow up on that. Please do follow up with the audience questions because it reflects two things. One is it generates interest in the audience in your research. And two, if a scientist or a professor is walking through your poster, you do make a really good impression on your professional engagement with a future professional networking opportunity. Say you go to a conference and there's a question that's asked and you don't know the answer to that immediately. Take the time out of after the poster session to follow up with them. If you happen to be at the same conference and happen to meet the audience who asked that question, say that, hey, thank you for asking that question. Here is the answer that I think might answer you. So follow up on that. And if there are folks who are experts in the field, ask them if it's okay for you to get their email and send in follow-up email, so you can stay engaged not only in the field but also get additional networking opportunities through these follow-ups. Be respectful. As scientists, we thrive on feedback and critique. And when someone asks a question or giving a feedback, always think of that as a learning opportunity. And use these question and answer sessions as an opportunity for you to showcase the depth, the amount of time, your effort that you have invested in your own research. Next question, please, or next slide, please. Here are some common mistakes to avoid. As we have talked about the clarity of a poster, you may want to avoid too much text that clutters the poster, whether it is paragraphs after paragraphs or every single data that you have acquired or every single graph that you have created. Try to think about presenting all of that information in a concise way. Avoid using blurry images or overly complex graphs because poor visuals do not effectively communicate your research or the effectiveness of the work that you have done. As I mentioned, avoid cluttered design. Leave enough room between sections so the audience can navigate seamlessly from start to finish. Keep in mind to use consistent font colors and consistent sizes for the fonts so that visually it's cohesive for you as you present the poster. And always figure out a way to engage with the audience, and failure to engage is a missed opportunity for you to communicate the results of your important work as well as for future networking opportunities. Next slide, please. So here are some final tips I want to address for successful poster presentations. You always want to plan ahead. Give yourself plenty of time to both design and revise the content of the poster. This is when you get feedback from your faculty mentors, from your peers as you are creating these and designing these posters. Make sure that after you create the poster, make sure that you have plenty of time ahead of the conference or ahead of the event to print the poster. Some students send the posters out to their print shop that may have a week of backlog, a week of lead time that they require. So please plan ahead so you have enough time to print the poster and take it with you. You want to seek feedback, so have your peers and experts and faculty mentors to review your poster. On the day of poster session, arrive early to make sure that your poster is set up properly. Make sure that you ask the organizers what are resources available for you to present your poster. Most conferences and events will notify the presenters ahead of time these resources available. For example, will you have thumbtacks? Will you be provided with easels? Will you have enough tapes to secure your posters? If that information has not already been given to you, it's perfectly okay to email the organizers to get some information so you can be planned ahead of time to get your poster fixed and ready for presentation. And final piece of advice that I want to give you is remember, you are the expert of your work. So that confidence really helps you in your oral presentation of your poster, in engaging the audience, in following up, and right from the first handshake to acknowledging the audience time. Always keep in mind, you are the owner of your research and you are the expert on the field at that moment. So keep that as front and center in every aspect of your poster presentation. Next slide, please. So here are some other resources that is useful for students as they create their posters. For example, there are tutorials available for Windows and Mac products. Tutorials by Canva that help students create effective posters. The link to templates, I think, are also available for creating posters without having to reinvent the wheel. Some literature on presentation skills are also available for you. If you click on those links, you can go to the appropriate websites or videos that help you create these useful, to create impactful posters. And finally, practice makes perfect. There is no substitute for practice. Even these days, I do give several rundown of my presentations because practice definitely helps. Practice with your family, with your friends, with your peers, as well as faculty mentors before you head out to the conference. And good luck as you are creating your posters and presenting at the STEMrec conference in Chicago. Next slide, please. So with that, I just want to quickly present a summary of what we have talked about. the poster presentations will have to have elements of how to get your work across. What are some elements of a good poster presentation? The do's and don'ts of a visually appealing posters. That includes graphs, tables, and everything that you want to present in your poster. And also, very importantly, how to engage with the audience. Next slide, please. And I really want to thank you for attending today's workshop. I want to thank AAAS for facilitating. And with that said, I am just going to take a pause as I switch out from my laptop to my other device because I just noticed that I am running low on battery. So.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and these wonderful resources and information. We have some questions that have been coming in the chat. Feel free if you have a question, but you haven't yet put it in the chat, go ahead and do so. And we will present them to Dr. Bala for answers. And if you haven't yet done so, please take a look at the Undergraduate Research Award application form. This is a great opportunity for you to apply to have your poster considered for an award, to then be able to attend another conference in the spring in Washington, D.C. that AAAS also hosts. So it's a wonderful opportunity to help you hone your skills, to hopefully be able to present at a subsequent conference, which also has awards for the poster presentations there as well. So the Chance to Change Lives Undergraduate Research Award, sponsored by Dr. Bala, generously is offering 2 prizes for $500 awards to cover the registration fees for the Spring EARN Conference in Washington, D.C.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can. Great. So we had a few questions come in. I'll start with the ones related to structure and design. Participants are wondering, can they use a QR code to link to a list of references, sources, general background information? What's your advice on using QR codes within a poster?
The answer to that is yes. And more recently, people have started using QR codes. But in order for the information to be available and accessible to all audiences, I would always have a reference section printed on the poster because maybe not everybody has a ready-to-use mobile device. So I would be mindful of that.
Thank you. So a related question about references. When do you add references within the methods and materials section versus leaving them in the reference section?
Yes, you can do that as well. It depends on your preference as well as sometimes the format that you want to use. MLA format, Chicago, whatever format that you want to use, you can place it within the context of, let's say for nanoparticles, authors, Bala, you can just put it within parentheses, or you can put the references as a numbered item and then reference back. It's completely up to you. I would pay attention to the particular conference where I am going and what sort of format do they require.
Thank you. So how does the structure or design of a poster change for proposed research?
Tara, can you repeat that question again?
Sure. So how would you change what you've presented about effective structure and design of a poster for research that's proposed rather than already carried out?
So it would be very similar. In this case, you would have more poster space occupied by the background. What have people done? What is your hypothesis and what do you propose? And in that, the materials method section can be, for example, your experiment that you are trying to propose or a computational modeling that you want to do. And then in the results and the discussion section, you can sort of present an expected outcome of the proposal. So I would say it follows a very similar format, with more emphasis on the background and the hypothesis and what your proposal is.
How about for qualitative data? How does the format change? What are your suggestions for displaying more qualitative data than quantitative data?
So for the, I'm sorry, my device just switched from computer to phone. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, fantastic. Tara, if you don't mind, I would ask you to repeat the question. Apologies.
Sure, not a problem. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you well.
So what about your suggestions for displaying qualitative research? Qualitative data.
Yes. So qualitative data can be summarized in tabular format. For example, if you're running surveys and if you are collecting the data and synthesizing and composing them, you can present them in short paragraphs, or you can present them in tabular format. You can present them as a summary of what your qualitative data is telling. You can also create visuals, infographics, where it captures that qualitative data in the form of, let's say, some bubbles, where hypothesis one gave this qualitative data verifies hypothesis one. You can sort of visually represent it in an infographic format. So there are multiple formats you can present qualitative data. And again, use your creativity. And I always tell students that poster presentation is an area where you not only display your research expertise as a scholar, but also it's a place where you play with your own design and creative elements. Some conferences have awards for best design posters. So that's a great way for you to showcase your design and creative talents as well.
Related to design, is there a general recommended size for the poster?
So most posters are 4x3, 3x4. Some conferences limit the size of the poster. Some events limit the size of the poster. But if they don't specify it, I would go with 4x3 as a general design for the poster.
Thank you. And just for the reference for our STEM meeting, the maximum size we can offer is 4x4, 4 foot by 4 foot, just so that posters don't overlap with each other on the sides of our poster board. So 4x3 would be perfect in our case. Thanks.
Yes.
Here's a good question. What do you suggest we do if there are no questions and comments? So how do you interact with an audience that's not engaging with your poster?
That's a great question. So
as the audience review my poster, and as they don't have any feedback or questions or comment, you can shake their hand and say that, hey, so where do you, what institution, or what sort of, are you presenting at this conference? What is your topic on? Or you can say, ask a little bit about their own work, what their field of interest is, or ask them with a follow-up, what are there additional questions for me? Do you want me to go over any of these? Usually when we ask people what brings them to the conference, or are they presenting at a conference, they kind of open up and that conversation goes. For example, if I am a physics student and I am presenting a poster, and that's to a group of biologists or a biology students, then I would ask, oh, what's your field? What's your topic of interest? And try to engage with them. If the audience, even after a couple of attempts, they're not engaging, we just thank them for their time, spending those minutes of the conference reviewing or viewing your poster.
Thank you so much. So those are questions that we've gotten in, and I want to be mindful of time. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Thank you, Dr. Bala, for sharing your knowledge and providing the opportunity for the undergraduate research awards who are scholars. Please provide your feedback on today's event, taking the short survey that will appear when you close Zoom, as well as you can access it through the QR code and the link. And please, we want you to stay connected with the STEMrec. You can connect with us on our website, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all the forms of social media. Join our mailing list and email us with questions, including if you had questions today for Dr. Bala that we didn't get a chance to answer. Feel free to email them to us, and we can connect you with Dr. Bala to get your questions answered. Thank you, everybody, for attending. We're so looking forward to seeing you in Chicago next month. And as Dr. Bala said, good luck on creating and presenting your posters.
And thank you all again. And thank you, Tara and Jamila, for this wonderful session. And I look forward to interacting with many of you at Chicago.